All rise. Please be seated. Yeah. All right, this is the 2 p.m. Initial appearance calendar for November the 9th. The court's orders regarding the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of the month apply to all matters on this calendar. Also, if you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you're advised you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling, and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who's convicted of causing you loss. If you've not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. All right, interpreter matter first.
And they have a set commissioner for the simultaneous interpretation.
Okay. We'll call number 6 then, Miguel Hernandez Valdez.
Miguel Hernández Valdés, pase al podium, por favor.
Sir, please state your name.
Miguel Hernández Valdés.
Miguel Hernández Valdés, Maria Corp, Court Interpreter's Office.
Thank you. And your date of birth?
9/29/68.
9/29/68.
You've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of misdemeanor assault, and 1 count of criminal damage, also as a misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause. At this point, based upon the financial information I have, I do not find you to be indigent, so you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. I reviewed the state's written recommendation. Is the state appearing on this matter, or just the two?
I'm not appearing on this one, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir. On this case, I've set a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. If you post that bond, you're also subject to pretrial services supervision, which will include electronic monitoring. Electronic monitoring is to be installed before you are released from custody. I'm going to go over some of the release conditions with you. They'll all be in writing. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to initiate contact of any type with any alleged victim or witness. You are not to respond to any contact from any alleged victim. You may not reside at the same location as any alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of that residence. If you have a common residence with any victim, 1 civil standby with law enforcement is allowed to retrieve any of your personal belongings. You are not to possess any weapons while on release. You are not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must submit to DNA and fingerprinting. Do you have any questions, sir?
Señor.
Sí, puedo decirle que no tengo para abogado y no tengo
Yes,
para
I
fianza.
don't have money for an attorney, and I don't have money for a bond either.
Well, the bond is going to remain the same. At this point, I've looked at your financial information that you provided to pretrial services, and it indicates that you make $4,000 a month more than what you spend. Given your income, at this point, I'm not appointing an attorney for you. At your next court date, the court could review that. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. All right, thank you, sir. With that, we'll be adjourned.
Your Honor, would you like me to make an announcement just in case?
I would, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. ¿Hay alguien más que necesite intérprete en español? Si es así, levanten la mano. Any hands?
No hands.
Okay.
Thank you for interpreting for us.
Yes, thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right.
Good
Counsel?
afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Here for a Gupta Ray?
All right. Let's see. All right, number 11 on the calendar is Arpan Guptare.
Thank you, sir.
Stand at the podium, please. And tell me your name and date of birth.
Sir, name, date of birth.
Name is Arpan Guptare. Date of birth is 02/28/2000.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've been charged with one count of misdemeanor DUI. The court's found probable cause. Looks like this is in the Paradise Valley City Court. So at this point, based upon the information I have, I am going to find you indigent. I know you filed a limited notice of appearance for the purpose of this hearing only, correct, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. We've been retained.
Permanently?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me change that then. All right, so I would find the defendant not to be indigent. All right, let's talk about release conditions. My inclination was OR of it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does the state want to be heard?
That's fine, Your Honor.
You want to argue with me on
No,
it?
no, Your Honor. We appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
I've had attorneys argue.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. You're going to be released on your own cognizance, sir. It means you're going to get out without having to post any bond or do anything else other than your word that you're going to make your next court date. All right, so you just need to make sure you make your court dates. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 25th at 8 a.m. in the Paradise Valley Town Court. Anything else from you, counsel?
No, Your Honor. Thank you for your
Anything
time
else from the
today.
state? All right, thank you, counsel.
Thank you.
The state's attorney does phone number 11 and 20.
What?
Give me a call when you get out.
Does phone number
Okay,
11.
so
Is 27 ready to go? She's
pretty
still
much told you to call down here,
Yeah.
dad's here, then wait to be processed. Then give you a call back.
I'm going to wait a minute and give them a little bit more time. I'm going to go on with other matters on the calendar. As soon as he's ready, I'll get you out of here, counsel. All righty, let's move on then. Let's see. Raul Torres, step up to the podium, and can we have Christian Bell sit at the chair by the door? Now, sir, can I have one of you stand behind the defendant, between the defendant and the state? Just, I don't like. Yeah. Thank you. Sir, your name, please,
Raúl Torres,
and your date of birth.
289.
All right. So you're here on a Superior Court bench warrant for failing to appear on the charge of burglary in the 3rd degree, a Class 4 felony. Legal defender's already been appointed to represent you. On this case, the judge, when they issued the warrant, set a bond of $1,000. I'm affirming that $1,000 secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. Continue to reside at an address you provide the court and submit to fingerprinting. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
But I'm going to be locked down.
You'll be let out. You'll be let out if you pay $1,000 bond.
Since that day.
Excuse me?
I'm going to be locked down on 17.
You can ask, but you failed to appear after being released once before, so it's possible. You'll have an attorney there, and they can talk to you about that. Your next court date is the 17th. You can step back over there, sir.
Okay.
Counsel, you ready to go on your case?
Yes, Judge.
All right. All right, and number 27 is Andy Perez Villegas.
Yes.
Sir, state your name, please,
Andy Perez
and your date of birth.
is January 13, 1999.
All right, do counsel want to make their appearances for the record?
Sorry, I did not.
I'm not talking to the attorneys.
Yes, Judge. David Campbell with DM Cantor, our office, represents Andy Perez.
Alan Sauer on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. All right. Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of resisting arrest, 1 count of aggravated assault. Those are both felonies. 1 count of interfering with a criminal scene investigation, a misdemeanor. 1 count of disobeying or resisting an order of the court, and 1 misdemeanor count of DUI. The court's found probable cause. I did find the defendant to be indigent. Are you just filing a notice for today, or are you filing a notice in perpetuity?
No, Judge. For the purposes of the limited appearances, for the purposes of this hearing.
All right. Going forward in the future, then I'll appoint the public defender for all further proceedings. I'll note the counsel is appearing for today's hearing only. All right. The state want to be heard on release conditions? I've reviewed your written recommendation, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing else to add other than, although the state is requesting pretrial services, the state is requesting the other conditions imposed.
Okay, thank you. Counsel.
Yes, Judge. Thank you. At this point, we would be asking that he be released to his own recognizance. Mr. Perez doesn't pose any risk to the community. He does not pose any risk of flight. It is based on his prior criminal history. He has none, so he has no prior failures to appear. There's no reason to believe that he would fail to appear in this case. He's 26 years old. This is his first criminal sort of encounter. He's never been arrested before. He does have strong family support here in Phoenix. His entire family is here. His entire immediate family is here. Both his parents, his sister, his 2 younger siblings. His family has been very involved since early in the day today, getting our office involved to make sure that he had representation. He does live independently, and he does have a dog who is at home. Because he is in custody, nobody else has any keys to his apartment, so there unfortunately is a dog in an apartment that is being unattended, has been unattended since 5 p.m. last night. He does work full-time. He's a chef at the Phoenician. He works right now because of the season. He's working, pushing 60 hours a week, and in addition to that, he supplements his income with driving for Uber, and he attempts to drive at minimum 6 hours a day once he leaves his shift at the Phoenician. So he is actively employed. He works side work. He supports himself. He contributes to his family. He does have that strong family support here in the community. And very recently, he is 26 years old, but he unfortunately did not graduate high school on time with his peers in sort of the standard time frame of things. But he did just very recently this year complete an accredited high school diploma program, and so he did receive a high school diploma in 2025. Beyond that, Judge, again, just to reiterate, he's not a flight risk, and he does promise to appear at his next court date. And based on the information we have available to us, we don't believe that he is a risk to the community, and for those reasons, we would ask that he be released to his own recognizance.
Thank you, Counsel. I've considered all of the factors, including the Form 4. So I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You won't have to post a bond or anything to get out, but you will need to keep in contact with them. I'm not imposing any type of electronic monitoring or anything like that. Just they'll help you make your court dates, so just follow their directions. So pretrial services, you're not to initiate any contact with any alleged victim or witness. The victim would be the police officer involved. You're not to possess any weapons while this case is pending. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. And due to the nature of this offense, and given the fact you're driving for Uber or Lyft, I'm going to order you not to drink alcohol while this case is pending. I just don't think it's necessarily conducive. So no alcohol either. You continue to provide court proof your local address. I probably stated it, but if I didn't, no driving without a valid driver's license. You must submit to DNA testing and fingerprinting. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th at 8:30. So you'll be given directions about how to contact pretrial services. It will be in an envelope that you'll be given. Make sure you contact them when you get out, and make sure you make your court date on the 24th. Do you have any questions, sir?
I don't.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
both
you, Judge.
counsel for appearing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judge.
And that's the only cases you're appearing for, correct, counsel?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. You too. All right, Christian Bell will be followed by John Grant. If Mr. Grant could have a seat in the chair by the door. Do we have Mr. Bell? Okay. Mr. Bell, please step up to the podium. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Christian Bell, birthday is 11/07/1995.
Okay, thank you, sir. So you've been charged with aggravated assault, Class 4 felony, possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a Class 5 felony, resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony, criminal trespass, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and reckless driving, a Class 2 misdemeanor. The court found probable cause on all counts except for the possession of narcotic drugs. I also considered a victim impact statement that was provided from the victim of the trespassing, as well as the state's written recommendation. So in reviewing all of these situations, first of all, I do find you to be indigent. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, I am setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If bond is posted, you're also subject to pretrial services supervision. Some of the release conditions include not returning to any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim or witness, no initiating contact with any arresting officers, no possessing drugs without a valid prescription or driving without a valid driver's license. You have to continue to provide court proof your local address, and you must submit to fingerprinting, you must submit to DNA testing at the arresting police agency. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step back over there. Mr. Grant will be followed by Juan Baeza.
Mr. Grant, right behind the screen, photo for me, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, afternoon, sir. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
John Ashley Grant, Your Honor.
And your date of birth?
11/15/67.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've been charged with aggravated assault, a Class 3 dangerous felony. The court has found probable cause. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you.
Yes, sir.
On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $5,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any victim or witness. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must submit to fingerprinting and DNA testing. If I didn't state on the record, I did find probable cause. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30.
Sir?
Yeah.
Is it possible I can give you some pre-trial, sir? I got a good job, and I'm not in trouble anywhere. I lost my wife and everything. I promised to come back to court. I'm right down the street.
I looked at that, sir, and I also looked at the...
I didn't harm anybody.
I know you didn't. If you'd harmed somebody, you would have had a lot higher
Yes,
bond.
sir.
I'm looking at your prior felony record. I'm looking at your failures to appear. I set the bond on the very low end of the scale, given the nature of all of the situations. So, sir, I am going to set the bond that I indicated at $5,000. Your next court date is November the 17th at 8:30. All right, and your release conditions could be reviewed at that time, but that is the release conditions at this point. All right, thank you, sir. You can step back over there. Juan Baeza will be followed by Kevin Robinson. Sir, your name, please.
Hello, my name is Juan Carlos Baeza, October 28, 1990.
So you've got two cases. The first is a new case, number 7 on the calendar, charging you with possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause. On this case, the court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $250. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. Number 8 on the calendar is the Superior Court bench warrant on the charges of possessing dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony, drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The public defender has previously been appointed. I'm affirming that appointment. On that case, there's a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $1,000. Other than that, the release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of November the 17th and November the 19th. But the next court date you need to worry about is November the 17th. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step back over there. Kevin Robinson will be followed by Melissa Tonkington.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Kevin John Robinson, January 21st, 1990.
Thank you, sir. So you're here on two cases. First, number 9 on the calendar is a justice court warrant on the charge of extreme DUI. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. The court is appointing the public defender to represent you at this point pursuant to Rule 6.1B1C. On this case, the Justice Court was asking for a bond of $500. I think that's a little high. I've set bond in the amount of $200. It's a secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof to your local address. Your next court date on this case will be an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 1 p.m. in the North Mesa Justice Court. Number 10 on the calendar is a municipal court warrant on the charges of, it's like 3 counts of dog at large.
Which I have no idea about. I was mentioning that about pretrial services.
I don't know much about that one either, other than I'm setting a bond lower than the amount that they requested, but I'm setting a bond in the amount of $100. Counsel we appointed at the next court date on that. I'm appointing counsel, well, I'm telling them to appoint counsel pursuant to Rule 6.1. On that case, the release conditions are the same. Your next court date on that is an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 9 a.m. in the Peoria Municipal Court.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about these two cases, sir?
No, just the bond amount. Like, I'm struggling. I wasn't doing anything. I was working last night. The cop just ran my plate at Quick Trip. I don't have $200. I'm a single father. I have to get my kids back and forth to school. Their birthday parties are both on the 11th. They're born the 4th and the 5th. I don't have the money to bond out. I haven't been in trouble in a long time. I turned my life around. I give you my word. That's all man really has. I promise to appear if I can release my own recognizance, please.
Yeah, sir, given...
They towed my car.
The Justice Court case is requesting a bond of $500. That's
I understand. I think you for lowering it, yes.
I set the bonds combined about half of what that one bond was requested, so I really can't set the bond lower than that. I appreciate your situation, though, sir. The officer will hand you this paperwork, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Melissa Pilkington will be followed by Francisco Gutierrez Delgado. Ma'am, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Melissa Pilkington, 2/19/79.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you're here on a Superior Court bench warrant on the charge of possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. The public defender's already been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond setting of $1,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court with proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. Do you have any questions?
May I address the court?
Sure.
So I went to all of my court dates, and we decided to do deferral with my public defender, and I wasn't told that I had any more court dates. He told me that I would sign the paperwork. He had like 6 other clients. He said that he would contact me. I contacted him 3 times. I had a copy. I have copies of the deferral paperwork as well.
But you never entered the deferral. The case was continued last on March the 18th at 2025.
He didn't. We did the last I left court. Like I wasn't told I had a court date, and I had deferral paperwork, and I just had to sign it. He was supposed to contact me to do that. I guess because I had to email it to him. So I contacted him a few times, and then he contacted me, and he said, "Oh well, we missed court." I'm like, "You told me I didn't have to go to court." He's like, "Well, I didn't contact you in time to do the paperwork," and I was like, "Well,
ma'am, that's not how it works."
That's what happened.
Yeah, but you're responsible unless the paperwork is signed and the court defers the paperwork. You could have contacted the court or done anything else. The judge, when they issued the bench warrant, let me check one other thing.
I just didn't know if there was another court date. Like we agreed to do a deferral.
The cases don't disappear. The court, until the court enters an order on the record deferring the paperwork, that's how it works. And let me see one other thing, and then I'll... Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to affirm the $1,000 bond. Given all of the factors in this case, the court believes it's appropriate. At your next court date on the 17th, you can move, and if nothing has changed, you might be able to do the deferral at that point. But at this point, given the bond that was set by the Superior Court judge, I'm affirming that. So you can step back over there, ma'am. We're done. Francisco Gutierrez Delgado will be followed by Jarrett Robinson. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Francisco Gutierrez Delgado. Date of birth 06/7/2001.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here on a Superior Court bench warrant on the charges of prohibited possessor, Class 4 felony, drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The public defender has already been appointed to represent you. Just want to check one thing. Okay, yeah, this was a drug court case. Sir, on this case, there's been a cash-only bond set in the amount of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You continue to provide court proof your local address, and you contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 14th at 9:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You can sit.
So I'm released or no?
No, you have a $100 cash bond.
Oh, so if I pay that bond, just that bond, the $100 bond, I get out?
Yes.
All right, then, thank you.
All right. Jarrett Robinson will be followed by Lake Simmons. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Jarrett Robinson, 5/11/1996.
All right, sir, you're here on 3 cases. The first is a new charge of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, 2 counts of theft, Class 1 misdemeanors, 1 count of driving on a suspended license, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of displaying fictitious license plate, a Class 2 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to those counts. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, I've considered all of the factors, including the 2 probation cases. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $2,500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any alleged victim or witness. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof your local address. And you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th. Your other 2 cases are both probation violation cases. Number 15 is probation violation for a Class 6 felony. On that case, there's a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $100. Other than that, the release conditions are the same. Your court date is a probation revocation arraignment hearing on November the 17th. Number 16 is another probation violation. On that case, there's a secured appearance bond also of $100. The release conditions are the same as is your court date of November the 17th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I have court already for probation on the 10th tomorrow, I believe. Will I be taken to that?
Let me see if I can pull it up in ISIS. Sir, it's hard to tell in the computer system I'm looking at whether or not they will vacate that date or whether or not you'll be taken. So I can't tell you for sure.
Okay.
I wish I could, sir. All right. Thank you, sir.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
Or 2 more questions? I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So, first of all, I was wondering if, would I have been able to go to the Superior Court and quash the probation warrant, violation warrant, just like a regular warrant? Like if by showing up and talking to the judge?
You can't just show up and talk to the judge. You have to get put on the calendar. Generally, the way to do that is to contact the public defender's office, because the judge just doesn't have time in the middle of a calendar. So normally you would contact the public defender's office. They would ask the court to set it on the calendar. It usually takes a few days to get set on the calendar.
Okay. And lastly, I was wondering if I wasn't read like my Miranda rights, would that have any effect on my case?
Only if you made any in custody statements. The only thing Miranda applies to is it would suppress any statements you made in custody.
Okay.
If you made no statements, it would have no effect.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Lake Simmons, we followed by Francisco Suarez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are we doing? My name's Lake Michael Simons.
Okay, date of birth, sir?
June 20th, 1985, sir.
All right, so you're here on 2 cases. Number 20 on the calendar is the Superior Court probation violation warrant for a Class 4 felony. The public defender's office is appointed to represent you. The judge, when they issued the warrant, set a bond of $750. That's a secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court-approved your local address, and you're to contact the probation department within 72 hours. Number 21 on the calendar is another Superior Court probation violation warrant for a Class 4 felony. On that case, the judge set a bond of $250. The release conditions are the same. Your court date is the same on both cases. It's a probation revocation arraignment hearing on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, Your Honor. So I'm only in here on 2 violations?
That's all I know about. You could have city cases or something else. The only thing.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry to waste your time, but when I came in here, I asked one of the officers. He said I had 3 probation three probation violations. You're only seeing 2?
That's all I have.
Because that's all I'm accounted for. I can only think of 2. You mean?
That's all I have, sir.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Mr. Suarez, number 22 on the calendar.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Francisco Suarez, 0107-1992.
All right, sir, you're here on 2 cases. First, number 22 on the calendar is a Superior Court arrest warrant on the charge of 2 counts of aggravated DUI Class 4 felonies. The court is appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. You post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You continue to provide court-proof your local address, and you submit to fingerprinting. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. Number 23 is another Superior Court warrant on the charges of other 2 counts of aggravated DUI Class 4 felonies committed on a separate date. Bond on that case is also set as a secured appearance bond of $500. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of November the 17th for a status conference and a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, just the only reason why I didn't show up to court was because I'm a single dad, full-time stay-at-home dad, and around that time when I was going through a lot in life, around that time when it was time to appear, I didn't appear out of fear because my son's mom tried to take her own life, and she was in custody with like a psychiatric for a whole year, and out of just like not wanting to turn myself in or anything like that, I didn't do it out of just wanting to go keep running because I didn't, and it's so stressful to do that. But that's why I never went into court, because I didn't want to leave my son alone. And with that being said, last night when I did get taken into custody, he got ripped out of my arms in my own room. When he wanted to stay at home, he had the option to go to talk to his mom, and he kept telling his mom he just wanted to have a normal night and be with his dad. So with that being said, he's out right now. It's his birthday weekend. He's supposed to have a birthday party today, and I'm missing that today. And I just really want to get back to my son. I promise I'll come back to court, and whatever I have to do, I'll do it. Like I talked to the pre-trial services. I want this all behind me. I want to be a regular person. I'm already a regular person because in all that time, I've started my own flag football program. I'm a pillar to the Gilbert community. I coach 3 teams. I have over 25 kids under my supervision, and it's not just my son that needs me; it's all kinds of kids.
And I appreciate that, sir. I also know that you had a town or city of Gilbert warrant for your arrest. These warrants were from some time ago. You've had plenty of time to resolve them, and you chose not to. The $500 bonds for Superior Court warrants for these type of offenses, which include mandatory jail time, are on the low end. So I'm affirming the bonds that the judge set.
So what do I have to do to how much total for the?
They're each $500. They're both secured bonds and not cash-only bonds. Generally, you can go through a bonding company, put 10% down with some type of other collateral.
Okay.
But they're
so a total of $1,000.
Yeah, if you've got the entire amount would be $1,000. Or generally, you could go through a bonding company for $100. You don't get that money back, and some type of collateral, they would post the bond.
Okay, like my mom's car or something.
Something like that. But you can contact a bonding company or have your family contact a bonding company.
Okay. I only know one number. That's why. So I don't have my phone on me. I don't have anything on me.
Okay. Well, it's really all I could do today, sir. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Okay. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Travis Ray. He'll be followed by Christy Green. Sir, please tell me your name.
Travis Ray.
And your date of birth, sir.
7889.
All right. Sir, you're here on the charge of possessing dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. The court's found probable cause. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to be in contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. And it looks like you may be on parole. If you are on parole, you're to contact the parole department within 24 hours of your release. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step back over there. Ms. Green will be followed by Isaac Knight. Ms. Green, please step up and tell me your name and date of birth.
Christy Green, June 8, 1981.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you're here on the charge, a bench warrant on the charges of possessing dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The legal advocate's been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, ma'am? All right, thank you, ma'am. Just step back over there. Mr. Knight will be followed by Manuel Sanchez. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Isaac Nides.
Okay, sir. And your date of birth?
03/25/1995.
All right, sir, you're here on 3 cases. Number 5 on the calendar is the municipal court. It's the new charge of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 1 misdemeanor, and obstructing a highway or public thoroughfare, Class 2 felony. Based upon the nature of the offenses, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. On this case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 24 hours. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 25th at 9 a.m. in the Peoria Municipal Court. Number 18 on the calendar is a Superior Court probation case. On that case, you're also going to be released on your own recognizance. The release conditions are basically exactly the same. Your court date on that is a probation revocation arraignment hearing on November the 17th at 8:30. Number 19 is another probation case. Once again, on that case and in the last case, public defenders are appointed. On this case, you're also going to be released on your own recognizance. Release conditions are the same as is your court date of November the 17th at 8:30. Very important you make your court dates on these cases. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. The officer will hand you some paperwork. Manuel Sanchez will be followed by Elena Kista. Sir, tell me your name, please.
Manuel Antonio Sanchez, 12/16/87.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on the charges of aggravated DUI as a third DUI. It's a Class 4 felony. Aggravated DUI for having a suspended license, a Class 4 felony. and possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, you're going to be released to pretrial services. You just need to follow their directions, but you will need to post a bond in order to get out.
Okay.
Contact them right when you get out. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. But you need to make sure you contact pretrial services. You'll be given an envelope about how to do that and make your court date on the 24th. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Step back over there. Ms. Keisto will follow by Jacob Halling. Ma'am, please step up to the podium and tell me your name and date of birth.
Elena Keisto, 8/1802.
I mean, you've been charged with one count of aggravated assault on a first responder. It's a felony. One count of disorderly conduct is a misdemeanor. One count of resisting arrest with passive resistance, a misdemeanor. And one count of criminal trespass is a misdemeanor. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered to appoint you the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You just need to make sure you make your court dates. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to return to the scene of alleged crime. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address. And you must submit to DNA and fingerprinting at the local police department. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. But the date you need to worry about is the 24th. Make sure you keep your paperwork and you make sure you make the court date on November the 24th. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Jacob will be followed by Martin Miranda. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Jacob Hewing, 10/9/1980.
All right, sir, you've been charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct, class 6 felonies. At this point, the court does not find you to be indigent, so you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. The court's next court date could appoint counsel if the court thinks that's appropriate. I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You'll just need to keep in contact with them and follow their directions, but you won't need to post a bond in order to get out. You are not to initiate contact with any victim or witness. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. Make sure you contact pretrial services when you get out and make your court date on the 24th. Do you have any questions, sir?
Pretrial services, I just, when I get out.
You'll call them, you'll follow what they tell you to do.
Today, or with that, are they open today or that?
I don't think they'll be open on Sunday. You'll be getting out too late today to do that, so just contact them first thing tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Martin Miranda will be followed by Rafael Sapien. Sir, your name, please.
Martin Miranda, 41069.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault, class 6 felonies. The court has found probable cause. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. I am going to release you to pretrial services. You need to follow the directions.
Yes, sir.
You're not to return to the scene of alleged crime. I believe it was a park or splash pad or something like that.
Yes.
So you're not to return to the scene of alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any victim or witness. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide proof for your local address, and you're to submit to DNA testing.
Okay.
Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on the 26th.
Okay.
Make sure you contact pretrial services to make your court dates. Do you have any questions, sir?
You'll give me the pretrial paperwork and
The officer will hand you a paper. The envelope will have the information of how to contact pretrial services.
thank you.
All right. All right, the last matter on the calendar will be Mr. Sapien. Sir, tell me your name, please.
Rafael Saquon,
Date of birth, sir.
4/12/03.
All right, sir, you're here on a Superior Court arrest warrant on the charges of aggravated DUI, Class 4 felonies, endangerment, Class 6 felonies. This is an arrest warrant, so there's no need to find probable cause. Sir, I'm going to release you as well to pretrial services. You need to make sure you keep in contact with them and follow their directions. You're not to issue contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You continue to provide court proof your local address, and you must submit to fingerprinting. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. Make sure you make your court date on the 24th. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, and that, I believe, ends our 2 p.m. calendar.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We are ready. He's on his way.
Also, when I say you're all right,
Please be seated. This is the 5 p.m. calendar for November the 9th. The court's orders regarding the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first day of the month remain in effect for all matters on this calendar. If you are a victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you're advised you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, and to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a determination on release, negotiation of plea, scheduling, and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing your loss. If you've not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. All right, we're going to proceed in the following manner. We're going to call 2 people. The first person will come and stand at the podium. The second person will stand or sit in the chair by the door. The first person we're going to see this afternoon is Orly Lowe. She'll be followed by Crystal Torres. Ma'am, please state your name.
Orly Lowe.
And your date of birth.
9/3/71.
All right. You're here on a warrant from the Justice Court, Arrowhead Justice Court. The court at this point finds you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you pursuant to Rule 6.1b. On this case, There's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $200. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date on this case will be an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 8:30 in the Arrowhead Justice Court. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, well, it's a trespassing, for trespassing, which I live in the community there. And my cousin's husband actually has lived there for 20 years because I live with him. And
this is, I don't even know the facts of the case, but this is a warrant that the Justice Court issued.
Right. Well, because I was in California and I had a court date come up, and I had the court over the phone with the public defender. I guess that's who it was, but she set it for me to go take a class, and then it would have been done with. But because I was stuck in California because my engine went out, I couldn't make the class. And she was supposed to email me something, which I never got an email, so I can go to that class.
Well, ma'am, you could have contacted the court or did a number of other things. The court asked for a bond of $545. I set it at $200. That's as low as I can go.
Okay.
So your next court date is the arraignment on November the 13th at 8:30. The officer will hand you some paperwork, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Torres will be followed by Bonnie Basham. Please state your name and date of birth.
It's Crystal Torres, 8982.
All right, ma'am, you're here on two cases. The first is a Justice Court warrant out of the East Mesa Justice Court. On this case, I have appointed the public defender pursuant to Rule 6.1B. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date on this case will be an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 8:30 in the East Mesa Justice Court. Number 8 on the calendar is a Superior Court bench warrant on the charge of organized retail theft, a Class 4 felony. On this case, there's a secured appearance bond of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to return to any alleged crime, have any contact with initiate contact with any arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription or driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court, and you're to submit to fingerprinting. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. All of the court dates will be on the paperwork that you'll be given. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
Can you tell me the difference between the first court date and the second one for the second charge?
For the second charge, that's a felony. The court date is November the 7th. Oh, you mean November the 7th?
Yeah, how you have two on there?
Okay.
What?
That's a good question. The status conference is where you meet with your attorney.
Okay.
You try to resolve the case. If you resolve the case, then the second date, the 19th, will just be vacated. It'll go away. Okay. So really the date you need to worry about is the 17th, because that's when you meet with your attorney. It's very unlikely you'll go to the court date on the 19th.
Okay.
So just go on the 17th. But
now, will this attorney call me, or do I need to call him or her?
You'll basically generally you'll meet with them at the court date on the 17th. If you want to speak to them beforehand, you can call the public defender's office, but they have very limited information before the court date.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Basham will be followed by Kelly Pike. We have Bonnie Sue Basham. It's the older lady right there. Ma'am, please tell me your name
Bonnie Sue Basham,
And your date of birth?
July 2nd, 1959.
Ma'am, you're here on two cases. The first is a new charge charging you with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause as to those counts. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must submit to fingerprinting. Lastly, since you're on probation, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 12 on the calendar is a probation violation warrant. You're on probation for Class 4 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $250. The release conditions are exactly the same. Your court date is a probation revocation hearing on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. If you could step back to where you were.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Pike will be followed by Viviana Peto. Your name, please,
Kelly Pike,
and your date of birth.
12/16/1983.
All right. You're here on three cases. The first is number 13 on the calendar. It's a Justice Court warrant from the West Mesa Justice Court on the charges of DUI, Class 1 misdemeanor. At this point, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $250. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court with proof of your local address. You're also to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of any release. Your next court date on this case is an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 8:30 in the West Mesa Justice Court.
Okay.
Number 15 on the calendar is the Superior Court probation violation case for a Class 6 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, there's secured appearance bond set in the amount of $100. The release conditions are exactly the same as your other case. Your court date is slightly different. It's a probation revocation arraignment hearing on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 17 is another probation violation matter. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, there's also a secured appearance bond of $100. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of November the 17th at 8:30 for a probation revocation arraignment hearing. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, sir, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Peto will be followed by Alexis Urzanak. Good afternoon, ma'am. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Viviana Gay Pito, 7/22/1963.
All right, ma'am, you're here on two cases. First, number 14 on the calendar is a Justice Court warrant from the Encanto Justice Court on the charge of criminal trespass. It's a misdemeanor. At this point, the court doesn't have enough information about counsel, so I'm not appointing counsel at this point. There's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $100. You post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 8:30 in the Encanto Justice Court. Number 21 on the calendar is a Justice Court warrant from Maryville Justice Court on the charge of disobeying an order of the court. On this case, the public defender is appointed pursuant to Rule 6.1B. On this case, there's also a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $100. The release conditions are the same. Your court date is an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 8:30 in the Maryville Justice Court. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
Just need to get that information in writing.
You'll have that information in writing. The court dates and the bond will be in the writing that the officers will hand you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Alexis Erzenak will be followed by Christian Rivera. Please tell me your name.
Alexis Erzenak,
And your date of birth.
11/5/2002.
All right, you're here on three cases. The first is a new charge of shoplifting with artifice, a class 4 felony. Possession of narcotic drugs and possession of dangerous drugs, both class 4 felonies, and possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The courts found probable cause on the shoplifting and the drug paraphernalia charges. At this point, the public defender has been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $2,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 19th at 8:30. Number 22 on the calendar is a probation violation matter. On that case, it's also appointed the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $1,000. The release conditions are exactly the same. Your court date is November the 17th at 8:30 for a probation revocation arraignment hearing. Number 23 is another probation violation matter. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, there's also a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $1,000. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of November the 17th. Do you have any questions about these three cases?
So I'm going to jail?
You'll be held in jail unless you post the bond, yes. All right, thank you. You can step back over there. Christian Rivera will be followed by Marquis Guzman-Smith. Sir, tell me your name, please.
Christian Rivera.
And your date of birth.
6/28/2007.
All right, the police arrested you on the charge of misconduct involving weapons by being a prohibited possessor with a weapon. Based upon the information, the court could not find probable cause. The court does not find probable cause. You are going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. The next court date you need to worry about is November the 24th. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. For my case right now, I have court on the 12th. Do I still have that or no?
On your other case, you absolutely do.
Okay.
So this new case has nothing to do with that old case.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually have to make sure you make that court date.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right, step right over there, sir. All right, Guzman Smith will be followed by Enrique Sanchez Garcia. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Marquis Guzman Smith, September 25th, 2002.
All right, thank you. So you've been charged with DUI, 2 counts, both misdemeanors. The court at this point finds you not to be indigent, so I'm not appointing counsel to represent you. On this case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate any contact with the arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 21st at 10 a.m. in the Moon Valley Justice Court. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you, sir. You can step right back over there. Enrique Sanchez Garcia will be followed by Caitlin Cordova. Your name, please.
Enrique Sanchez Garcia.
And your date of birth.
January 8th, 1999.
Are you charged with possessing narcotic drugs, a class 4 felony? The court has found probable cause. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. Excuse me. Strike that about finding probable cause. The court did not find probable cause. That's why you're being released. So no probable cause hasn't been found. You are going to be released. Just because I didn't find probable cause doesn't mean this case is going away. It just means they didn't have the drug test available to me. They'll probably have that by your next court date. But you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. Continue to provide court with proof of your local address and submit to fingerprinting. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th at 8:30. Your other case, number 6 on the calendar, is a justice court matter. On that case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance as well. The public defender has been appointed on that case. The release conditions are exactly the same. Your court date is slightly different. It's an arraignment hearing on November the 25th at 1:30 in the University Lakes Justice Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You step back over there. All right, Cordova will be followed by Daniel Pineda. Your name, please.
Caitlin Cordova, 72599.
Are you charged with aggravated assault, class 5 felony, misdemeanor assault, class 1 misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct, class 1 misdemeanor? The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, you're going to be released to pretrial services. You will just need to follow their directions, but you will not need to post a bond in order to get out. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victim or witness. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must submit to DNA testing. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. You need to make sure you contact pretrial services when you get out and make your court date on the 24th. Do you have any questions?
I live with the victim, so I just want to understand the circumstances of that.
Well, you can't have contact with them. If
Okay.
you're going to have to find a different place to live while this case is pending, or
Or
they're going to
he
have to find,
will?
they'll have to find a different place.
Either?
Yeah, one of you.
Okay.
All right, but make sure you contact pretrial services and make your court date. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. You can step
Thank
over
you.
there. Pineda will be followed by Terry Montgomery. Your name, please,
Daniel Pineda,
and your date of birth.
February 13, 2006.
All right, you've been charged with 1 count of threatening and intimidating. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. Based upon the nature of the offense, I'm not appointing counsel. You're going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate any contact with the victim. I believe it was a barber shop You're not to initiate any contact with any victim or witness. You're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 26th at 1 p.m. in the Goodyear Municipal Court. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you can step right over there. Terry Montgomery. Sir, your name, please.
Terry Montgomery,
And your date of birth.
July 28, 1995.
You've been charged with unlawful discharge of a firearm within the city limits to Class 6 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. I have found probable cause. You are going to be released to pretrial services. You'll need to follow their directions, but you won't have to post a bond in order to get out. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th. But make sure you contact pretrial services when you get out and make your court date on the 24th. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so when I get released, there's a possible chance I'll get my weapon back, or how that works?
Probably not while this case is pending, but you can talk to your attorney when you go to court on the 24th about that.
All right.
All right, the officer will hand you some paperwork. All right, Spanish. We have an interpreter ready? Okay. Rigoberto Ramirez Diaz. All right, if the interpreter could start interpreting. Okay. Now if you could start interpreting for me.
Okay.
Sir, please state your name.
Yeah.
Señor, por favor, declare su nombre.
Rigoberto Ramírez Díaz.
And your date of birth.
Y su fecha de nacimiento.
21/05/1996.
21/05/1996.
You've been charged with one count of child abuse, Class 3 felony, and 2 counts of DUI. Both one Class 4 felony, one Class 6 felony.
Así que usted ha sido acusado con un caso de abuso infantil, delito de clase 3 y 2 por el DUI.
I have appointed the public defender to represent you.
He apuntado a el defensor que lo va a representar.
You are going to be released to pretrial services.
Usted sería liberado para servicios previos al juicio.
You will need to contact them when you get out and follow all of their directions.
Usted va a necesitar contactarlos cuando salga y seguir todas las direcciones.
You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
Usted no tiene que poseer ningún tipo de droga sin ninguna prescripción válida.
You're not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Usted no debe de manejar sin una licencia de conducir válida.
You're to continue to provide court with proof of your local address.
Usted va a seguir continuando brindándole a la corte prueba de su dirección local.
Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30.
Su siguiente fecha de corte sería una conferencia el día 24 de noviembre a las 8:30.
That will be in the downtown Superior Court.
Ese estaría en la Corte Superior de la ciudad.
You need to make sure you contact pretrial services when you get out.
Usted tiene que asegurarse de contactar a los servicios previos al juicio cuando salga.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta?
No, ninguno.
No, none.
Thank you for interpreting for us.
Of course. Thank you for calling I Am Rich. Interpreter 4368 disconnecting.
You can do the house call while I get in touch with an Arabic interpreter.
Okay. I'm going to do a DUI warrant.
The interpreter has disconnected. To reconnect with your interpreter, press or say 1. To connect with a new interpreter, press or say 2. To select a different language, press or say 3. To connect with an operator, press or say 4. End this call now, press or say 5. Goodbye.
Hi, Jervis, Commissioner Peterson, I Court. Are you ready to be sworn in on your warrant? I do swear from the information being the warrant affidavit is true and correct, that's your personal knowledge and information, please. I know, right, you sir, fucking up. We saw on the record. Well, we're waiting for the interpreter. Number 18 in the House call, my inclination is the PSA release. If the court doesn't follow its recommendation, the court will come back on the record. All right, do we have an Arabic interpreter on the line?
Hello, yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ashraf Radi?
الله خير.
All right, now, if you could start interpreting for me from this point forward. Please state your name.
My name is,
Well, first of all, can the interpreter ask the defendant if he needs an Arabic interpreter, whether or not he speaks English? Because you started to answer my question before you interpreted anything.
مرحبا معكم مترجم اللغة العربية. هل حضرتك تحتاج خدمة الترجمة ولا تتكلم إنجليزي؟
أحتاجها ولكن بشكل بسيط يعني أنا إنجليزيتي كويسة نوعا ما ولكن مش يعني perfect.
So I can speak English but not perfect, so I need the interpreter as a backup.
Okay. Then please wait until the interpreter has interpreted what I say before you respond.
ماشي. القاضي يطلب منك إنه تستخدم يعني تنتظر الترجمة وبعدين تجاوب.
Okay.
Please state your name.
Okay. اسم حضرتك رجاءً.
أود عبد الله الشراري.
أود عبد الله الشراري.
And is your date of birth January 15th of 2005?
Yes, sir.
Once again, wait until the interpreter interprets. Is your date of birth January 15th of 2005?
تاريخ ميلادك شهر الواحد يوم 15/2005.
نعم.
Correct.
You have been charged with criminal trespass as a misdemeanor.
في تهمة موجهة لك يعني التجاوز على ممتلكات الآخرين وهذه جنحة.
At this point, I don't have enough information to appoint counsel for you, so I'm not appointing counsel.
Yes, this interpreter speaking, not appointing what?
You are going to be released on your own recognizance.
أنت الآن يتم إطلاق سراحك على تعهد منك.
You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime.
لكن لا يجوز أن ترجع إلى مكان الجنحة أو الجريمة.
You are not to initiate contact with any of the arresting officers.
ولا يجوز أنه تتواصل أو تكلم أي من الضباط الشرطة اللي وقفوك.
You are not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
لا يجوز أن تحصل على أي أدوية بدون وصفة طبية يعني حقيقية.
And you to continue to provide court with proof of your local address.
تستمر بإعطاء عنوانك الرسمي، عنوان السكن.
Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 25th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
يوم 25 هذا الشهر شهر 11 الساعة 1:30 الجلسة القادمة في المحكمة جلسة الاستماع.
Do you have any questions?
إذا عندك أي أسئلة تفضل.
No.
All right, thank you. Thank you for interpreting for us, sir.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you for using our services. Have a good day.
You too. All right, I already made the record on the house call, so with that, the 5 o'clock calendar is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. One house call is not terrible. Please be seated. All right, this is the 8 p.m. calendar for November the 9th, initial appearance court. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you're advised you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be heard before the court makes a determination on release, negotiation of plea, scheduling, and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you've not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. All right, first this evening we're going to see Tashawn Sabaris. Sir, state your name, please. Your name?
Tashawn Sabrani.
And your date of birth?
October 2nd, 1999.
So you're here on a municipal court warrant on the charge of assault, class 1 misdemeanor, out of the Peoria Municipal Court.
I missed the stage class.
Yeah, I understand that. The bond has been set as a secured appearance bond of $200. Counsel will be appointed at the next court hearing pursuant to Rule 6.1B. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers or witnesses. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 9 a.m. in the Peoria Municipal Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Wait, so would I be released or staying here?
You have a $200 secured appearance bond.
What does that mean?
It means you have to post a bond in order to get out. It's a secured appearance bond, so you could go through a bonding company and pay 10% as opposed to a cash-only bond. All right. Next will be Jamie Ryak.
Hello,
Please state your name
Jamie H.
and your date of birth.
4/15/84.
All right. One second. All right, you're here on a municipal court warrant, also from the Peoria Municipal Court. It's on the charge of DUI. Counsel will be appointed at the next court date pursuant to Rule 6.1B. Secured appearance bond has been set in the amount of $250 in your case.
Can you, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't make it to the court. It's a closed situation. I just need a little time to please, if you could remove the bond. I promise I'll get it taken care of in the courts right away.
Yeah, the problem I have is this is a Peoria Municipal Court bond. They were requesting a $500 cash bond. I cut it in half and made it a secured bond, but that's really as low as I can go. So it's a $250 secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription, or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 13th at 9 a.m.
November 13th.
November the 13th, yes.
Sir, I don't have any money to get out. Can you please give me the OR, please? I promise.
Ma'am, I've cut the bond in half and made it secured rather than a cash bond. That's as good as I can do. All right, thank you. Now you can step over there.
Is there a lawyer?
Scott Demuth. Sir, your name, please.
Scott Robert Demuth.
And your date of birth.
11/30/1991.
All right, thank you. So you're here on a warrant from the Casa Grande Municipal Court.
Yes, sir.
On the charges of assault, disorderly conduct, and failure to appear.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I've been in contact with the lawyer, He told me that I wasn't gonna have any type of warrant out because I had just told him I have my boss's number. I start tomorrow. I have it right here. The cop actually gave it to me because I was very cooperative. I was sitting at a bus stop waiting to go home. So I really don't know why I even got arrested, honestly, because I had told him I hadn't had a job. I've been living paycheck to paycheck without even having a job. I've been doing labor work on the side, just paying an Airbnb, and every bit of money I've had has just gone to keep me off of the streets and not in a tent. So they know that I just got this job, and it's actually a full-time job, and then with my girlfriend working and everything, I should be able to start making payments tomorrow, honestly, because my mom said she would help out if she didn't help with my storage. So if I could possibly get an order released today, that'd be great, because I do start this job tomorrow, and I have verification there for you.
Yeah, here's the problem. This is an out-of-county warrant, and it's for failure to appear.
Yes, sir. It's because I'm living in Mesa, and I'm living in Chandler, and I don't have a vehicle.
Okay.
There's no
Well, that
bus.
doesn't give the court any assurance that you're going to make your court date if you haven't made your court date in the past. So, I mean, sir, I'm setting the bond as low as possible, but you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $200.
Is there any way I can get it lower? Because
no. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be November the 13th at 8:30 in the Casa Grande Municipal Court. All right.
So would I get transferred there if I'm not out?
Yes.
Would I get transferred there?
They will absolutely. They've indicated they will come and get you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can step back over there. Doronta Smith will be let's do Mr. Smith first. Sir, please tell me your name.
Durante Smith.
And your date of birth, sir.
09/11/03.
All right, sir. You've been charged with one count of resisting arrest, Class 6 felony, one count of misdemeanor theft. The court has found probable cause. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender. On this case, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance.
I was gonna say something too. The police officers, they caught me as theft because in my backpack was my girl's phone and tablet. It was me taking pictures and screenshots. I was already outside, but that's why they said theft. But that's why it was supposed to be dropped.
I understand what the theft was. But like I said, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate contact with the alleged victim or witness. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 24th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on November the 26th.
What date did you say, boss?
What?
What date did you say?
November the 24th. That's the date you need to worry about, and that will be on the paperwork you'll be given as well.
I appreciate you.
You have any other questions, sir?
No.
All right, then step right back over there, sir. Brent Earhart. Sir, state your name, please.
Brent Earhart.
And your date of birth.
9/13/85.
So you're here on a charge of criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor. It's a charge of the El Mirage Municipal Court. Based upon the nature of the offense, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. While this case is pending, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. If you live at this location, even if you're the renter or the owner of the residence, you're not to live there with the victim. One civil standby would be allowed with law enforcement to retrieve any essential belongings. So no contact with any victim or witness. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on November the 25th at 8:30 in El Mirage Municipal Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Martin Morris. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Pardon me?
Your name and date of birth?
Martin Morris, 12/9/62.
Just 1 second, sir. All right, so you're here on a Superior Court warrant on the charges of possessing dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, marijuana, class 6 felony, drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The public defender's already been appointed to represent you. It's ordered affirming that. So I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You need to keep in contact with them and follow all of their directions, but you won't have to post a bond. It's very important you make your court dates. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on November the 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
What was the last part? What kind of conference?
It's a post-warrant status conference. It's just your first court date when you get back into the court. I think they've filed a motion to reinstate your prosecution. You'll meet with your attorney and the judge. Just make sure you make your court date on the 17th. And make sure you contact pretrial services when you get out.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
All right, step right over there, sir. Jose Rodriguez Flores. Sir, your name, please.
Jose Rodriguez Flores, 71580.
So you've been charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct, class 1 misdemeanors. At this point, I don't have enough information to determine whether or not you're entitled to an attorney, so I'm not appointing an attorney at this point. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. I'm going to go over some of your release conditions. They'll all be in writing, but you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. I know you maybe live there or rent there. You're not to go back there. You can go back once with the police for civil standby, because I believe you said you had a computer or something you needed to get.
Yeah, just for work.
Yeah. Call the police department. I don't know what city this was. I can't remember.
Surprise.
Okay, call the Surprise Police Department. Tell them you have a court order and you need a civil standby.
Okay.
They'll send an officer. You can go get your you can get whatever you need one time. But otherwise, you're not to return to the scene of this crime. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on December the 9th at 1:30 in the Surprise Municipal Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No. I'll have that in writing?
Yep.
Oh, appreciate it.
All right, so you can step back over there. And there are no house calls, so that ends our calendar.
Okay, this gentleman here, stay seated. Okay. Anyone else? Please be seated. Oh, please proceed. Okay. Yeah, please. Oh, can the interpreter identify themselves, please?
Yeah. Yes, good morning. My name is Fabian, interpreter ID number 39117. I'll be your Spanish interpreter. Please speak in clear, short sentences so that I can interpret everything.
I'm getting some feedback from something else.
Go ahead, client.
Okay, it's okay now. All right, does it sound like a TV or something behind you?
Sorry, give me 1 sec. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so a bit
Go
better.
ahead, client.
Okay. All right, I'm going to make some general announcements. I'll need you to interpret on that, and then I'll have the person who needs an interpreter come into the courtroom, okay? Thank you. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Good evening. This is the 11 o'clock calendar on November 9th, 2025.
Bien, esta es la lista de causas del 9 de noviembre de 2025.
The court orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar.
Bien, el tribunal ordena la obtención de muestras de ADN y de huellas dactilares que deberán ser, se deberán dar en las primeras semanas del mes calendario.
I'm not going to say out loud all your release conditions. All of them will be on your paperwork along with your next court dates.
No voy a leer sus condiciones de puesta en libertad. Están escritas en un papel para que usted las lea y ahí tendrán las próximas fechas de audiencia.
If I do set a secured appearance bond for you, you can go through a bondsman.
Si establezco una caución para usted, usted puede ir con un fiancista licenciado.
It is my understanding they do collect calls.
Según entiendo, ellos pueden recibir llamadas por cobrar.
The names and numbers of bonding companies are in some of the walls of the jail. If you cannot find one or need assistance, please ask one of the officers for help.
Bien, los nombres de estas empresas de fiancistas están en los muros del penal municipal. Si no sabe dónde están si no sabe dónde están, puede preguntarle a un agente para ayudarle a buscar los nombres.
The following is a victim rights advisement, which I'm going to be reading.
Bien, los siguientes son sus derechos y garantías, las cuales voy a leer.
If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you're advised that you have rights under Arizona law.
Bien, si usted es una víctima de un delito con una causa pendiente en un tribunal, usted tiene protecciones bajo la ley de Arizona.
That among others include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity.
Entre ellas incluyen el derecho a ser tratada con dignidad, respeto con dignidad y respeto.
To a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings.
A un juicio sin demora para que esté presente y para que también esté presente en los procedimientos judiciales.
To choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney.
Para elegir si usted desea o no carear al acusado o al abogado de la parte acusada.
to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling, and sentencing.
El derecho a estar en una audiencia de deliberación, negociación o establecimiento de condena.
And to receive restitution from a person who's been convicted of causing your loss.
Y el derecho a recibir un resarcimiento por parte de la persona que le haya causado dicho daño.
If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office.
Si a usted no se le ha proporcionado una carta de derechos para las víctimas de un delito, por favor póngase en contacto con la oficina del fiscal general para que le puedan proporcionar uno.
For some of you, I have received victim impact statements. I have taken them into consideration.
Para alguno de ellos para alguno de ustedes he recibido declaraciones de las víctimas, de las cuales le he dado cierta consideración.
Okay. Will Alexander Vitale Nunez come in the courtroom, please?
Alexander Vitale, por favor, pase a la sala del juzgado.
Okay. Sir, your name and date of birth.
Señor, su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Alexander César Vitales Núñez, 6 de agosto de 1995.
Alexander Grisales Núñez, August 6, 1995.
Sir, is Spanish your primary language?
Señor, su idioma principal es el español.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you need the assistance of a Spanish interpreter to help you understand all your proceedings against you?
¿Desea usted la ayuda de un intérprete de español para ayudarle a entender todos los procedimientos en su contra?
Sí.
Yes.
So I will appoint the office of the court interpreter's office, and they will provide a Spanish interpreter for you during the course of your case.
Bien, voy a remitir entonces esta información a la oficina de los tribunales, a la oficina de intérpretes de los tribunales, para que le puedan asistir a interpretar los procedimientos en su causa.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, you are charged with aggravated assault, impeding breathing, as a domestic violence offense.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Aggravated violence and what else?
No, aggravated assault as a domestic violence charge.
Oh, okay. Bien, señora, usted se le imputa de los cargos de agresión con agravantes como parte de una causa de violencia en el hogar.
I think they have listed at the wrong level felony, but that will be resolved when and if a complaint is filed against you by the county attorney's office.
Bien, creo que este delito tiene un cierto nivel de delito mayor. Sin embargo, se presentará en el escrito acusatorio, se dará esto en el escrito acusatorio por parte del fiscal, por la oficina del fiscal del condado.
At this point, I cannot appoint a court-appointed attorney for you.
En este momento no puedo nombrar a un abogado de oficio para usted.
If you find you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can request your assigned judge to make a decision on whether to appoint one for you, but no promises about whether that court would do so.
Bien, si usted no puede pagar por un abogado, usted puede solicitar que se le proporcione un abogado de oficio. Sin embargo, no hay una garantía de que este tribunal le pueda obtener un abogado de oficio para usted.
Your next court dates will be at 175 West Madison Street in Phoenix.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, 175 West?
No, 175 West Madison Street in Phoenix.
Thank you. Su siguiente audiencia va a ser en la 175 West Madison en Phoenix.
Yeah, it'll be a status conference on November 17th and a preliminary hearing scheduled for November 19th, both at 8:30 in the morning.
Bien, tiene una audiencia preliminar, una audiencia de su situación jurídica para el 17 de noviembre programada y una audiencia preliminar programada para el 19 de noviembre, ambas audiencias programadas para las 8 de la mañana.
You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or initiate contact with the alleged victim or victims.
Usted no se le tiene permitido regresar al lugar del presunto, donde se cometió el presunto delito, ni regresar o tener comunicación, ni regresar o tener comunicación con las presuntas víctimas.
You may return to the scene of the alleged crime one time with a police officer on a civil standby to pick up your personal effects.
Usted podrá regresar una vez al lugar del presunto delito con un agente de policía en una cuestión civil para que usted pueda ir a recoger sus pertenencias.
You may return to the scene of the alleged crime or initiate contact with the alleged victim with written permission from the alleged victim.
Bien, usted puede regresar o iniciar comunicación o contacto con la presunta víctima a través de una autorización por escrito de la presunta víctima.
Give me one second.
Yes.
Carla, I had made something. I left out a word. So. Okay. All right. Sir, I know your wife is asking that you be released. However, I have to take in consideration what the allegations are in this case.
Bien, señor, yo sé que su esposa está pidiendo que lo pongan en libertad. Sin embargo, tengo que tener en consideración los alegatos en esta causa.
You must appear at all the court dates that I've mentioned.
Usted debe comparecer o presentarse en las audiencias que en las fechas de las audiencias que le he mencionado.
The prosecutor's office is asking that I set bond in the amount of $25,000.
La oficina del fiscal general, del condado ha solicitado que se establezca una caución de $25,000.
However, I'm going to set a bond, a secured appearance bond, in the amount of $2,500.
Sin embargo, voy a asegurar una caución segura por la cantidad de $2,005.
That means you would be able to go through a bonding company and not be obligated to put up $2,500 in cash.
Bien, esto significa que usted va a poder ir a una empresa, a una compañía de fiancistas y para que así usted no esté obligado a pagar una fianza o caución de $2,005.
If you post your bond and you don't show up for court, you could lose your bond and a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Bien, si usted no se presenta, si usted pone, paga una fianza y no se presenta al tribunal, usted puede perder su fianza y por consiguiente se emitirá una orden de arresto en contra suya.
Okay, please step to your left, please.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, one more time?
I said, please step to your left.
Okay, thank you. Por favor, pase a su izquierda.
Okay, could you just make a general announcement to see if anyone else needs your assistance?
Okay. Buenas noches. ¿Alguien más necesita servicios de interpretación ante el juez?
Apparently not. Thank you very much for your help, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good evening too. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Okay. Luis Lopez. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
My name is Luis Antonio Lopez Sr., 5984.
Okay, so you have two matters before me. One is a probation violation, one's a new charge. In regard to these things, if you do post your bonds, in regard to, if you do get released, if you ever be released, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You cannot possess any weapons, you cannot consume or possess any alcohol, no drugs without a valid prescription. Your new charges are theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, and we're not here to discuss guilt or innocence at this time. Possession of dangerous drugs, theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your court dates will be at 175 West Madison Street for a status conference on November 17th at 8:30, and a witness preliminary hearing at this time is scheduled for November 19th at 8:30. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victim. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol, okay, and then no weapons, no drugs like without a valid prescription, like I mentioned. Bond is set that, and then the state was actually asking for a $15,000 bond. I'm setting a bond amount of $5,000. Now, in your probation violation, which is 2018-101-1187, you're on probation for aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony. Once again, I'm appointing a lawyer for you on that. Okay, you know, I told you your status conference on the new case is November 17th at 175 West Madison. Now, in your probation violation, and I'm appointing a lawyer for you, your revocation arraignment hearing is at the same time at 201 West Jefferson. So if you haven't bonded out, they'll take you to one. So talk to your lawyer, make sure that he or she knows about both, so you don't have a warrant on the other case. If you are able to bond out, show up at one of them and let your lawyer know. You know, but probably the new case first, okay? It's probably the best thing, all right? You're alleged to have violated term 1. Okay, so you're 201 West Jefferson at 8:30 on November 17th, and otherwise the same release conditions are in effect, and bond on that one is $1,500. All right, step to your left, please. William Belcher. And so I know when I first came in, you tried to stand up. Don't even think about it. Okay, I know you're in a wheelchair, so the officer will arrange the table, I think. Maybe we'll need to. I don't think you need to adjust the table. I think it's about the right level. So your name and date of birth, please.
William Belcher, 12/26/88.
Okay. Sir, you are charged with aggravated. By the way, I know what you had told the pretrial service about. You have a permit. that is not one of your, it's nothing to do with one of your charges, by the way, but I am aware of what you had said, okay? You were charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, disorderly conduct, a Class 6 felony, assault, Class 1 misdemeanor, and threatening or intimidating, Class 1 misdemeanor. I am appointing a lawyer for you, all right?
Thank you.
You're not to initiate contact with the alleged victim. You're not to possess any weapons, all right? Now, the state actually was asking for a bond of $150,000, okay? I am not going to, even though the allegations are serious, I'm going to set bond, it's a security appearance bond amount of $5,000. So you can't go to a bonding company.
Thank you.
You can see this big disparity what the state was doing. Based on an analysis, I'm going to make it $5,000. And just make sure you show up for court and abide by the conditions if you post your bond. Because if you don't show up and if you posted your bond, you could lose your bond and a warrant would issue. All right? Would go over there to your left. Thank you. Sergio Pernell. All right, sir. Good evening. Your name and date of birth, please.
Sergio Pernell, 02-2391.
All right, sir. You've got a charge of the Buckeye City Court. Now, the address of that court is on your paperwork, okay?
Yes, sir.
You were charged with assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct, Class 1 misdemeanor. A lawyer will be appointed for you at the next court date out in Buckeye, all right? Because we don't have anyone to appoint from here, you know.
Yes,
they do it, okay? Just to give you the idea. Your arraignment hearing will be there at November 19th at 1 o'clock. I do have a victim impact statement. You're not to initiate contact with the alleged victim or victims. And bond has been set as security appearance bond amount of $1,000. All right, so if you post your bond, make sure you show up there. Okay, step to your left, please. Marcia Muniz. I'm sorry. Good evening. Your name and date of birth, please.
Marcia Muniz,
And your date of birth.
12-2991.
Okay. Barely heard you, but I heard you. Okay. You are charged with in the Goodyear City Court. The address will be in your paperwork, okay, if you don't know where it is. You are charged with criminal trespass in the second degree, Class 2 misdemeanor. You'll have to be there at 1 o'clock on November 26th, okay? And do not return to the scene of the crime. They don't want you there. They apparently allegedly trespassed you. So stay away from that area. And don't...
What do you mean the 26th? I'm sorry?
I can barely hear
What do
you.
you mean the 26th?
November 26th.
I have to return
You
where?
have to be there in the Goodyear City Court at 1 o'clock.
Oh,
Okay? That's your court date. And you cannot initiate contact with alleged victim or victims. And I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. So you better show up for court. Okay? Now, it's going to take about 4 hours usually for you to be processed before you get out. Okay?
fine, but I just came to see some family.
I have trouble hearing you.
I just came to see some family.
Okay, I can't tell people not to talk, but I generally recommend to people they not talk because everything's being recorded. If you say something, it could be used against you later on. Okay? We're not here to discuss guilt or innocence, all right? So when you get to court, you'll deal with it then, all right? Okay, step to your left, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Kevin Buchanan?
He's coming, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, very good, thank you. Good evening, sir. Your name and date of birth, please.
Kevin Lamont Buchanan, 09-1493.
Okay, sir, you got a warrant out of East Mesa Justice Court on a extreme DUI, Class 1 misdemeanor, and I know it's a failure to pay. Okay, couple things. You probably spent a whole bunch of hours here today, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I also know you've been in this court several times on a warrant, and you've been let out, and it's still the same problem. So the question in my mind is, start getting your money together, start paying them, make them happy, and show up for court, so you don't have to keep warrants, and you don't have to keep coming back here, because that doesn't take care of the failure to pay on that DUI, all right?
Sir.
I'm gonna give you one more break, but, be there on November 26th at 9 o'clock in the morning, all right?
If I may.
And then, I must tell you, this is the 12th failure to appear warrant, and they ask that you specifically you'll be released on your own recognizance. So I'm going strictly against the judge's express wishes in regard to this, but it's a failure to pay, okay? And I think you better start working on it immediately,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
You about to say something, sir?
Yes, sir. So I've been going to the doctor lately. I just want to let you know, you said November.
Please talk a little louder.
Huh?
Talk a little louder.
So you said in November, but I'm not, I have a heart problem. I've been going to the doctor lately, and I actually got, I don't know what the problem is. I have to go to the doctor soon next week, but my heart and my thyroid, is something wrong with my heart and my thyroid.
Okay,
So
let me tell you, this is your court date, November 26th. Okay?
26th?
That's a little more than 2 weeks from now, okay? If you think there's a real danger of you're not appearing on that date, you may want to go to that court and some courts allow people to come in earlier, but probably not. I suggest you be there on November 26th.
Okay.
Okay? Because I said, they're not going to be very happy with me that I'm releasing you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
you
sir.
better do all you can.
Yes, sir.
To be there, okay?
Yes, sir.
That's at 9 o'clock in the morning, all
Yes,
right? Because then they won't be as unhappy if you do show up. You know what I mean? Because I'm taking into consideration you spent all these hours here today and other times, but you haven't learned. You start getting some money together and show up for court.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. It'll be about 4 hours before you get out of here, though.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, step to the left. Okay, we are in recess. Thank you.
just bring it.
I'll be right with you, sir.
The county attorney should be joining any meeting.
What was that?
The county attorney should be joining.
Okay, very good. All right, sir, I'm having you, I'll explain why you're being brought in earlier ahead of the rest of the calendar in a moment, okay? I just want to tell you that it's 12:50 a.m. For you're on the 2 a.m. calendar for tomorrow morning in effect, but the court orders for taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I also have to read the victim rights advisement. If a person is a victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, they're advised they have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present in court proceedings, choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who's been convicted of causing the loss. If a person's not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, they need to contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. Is she there now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let me just call your name. 1 second here. All right, Mr. Pregler, give me your name and your date of birth, please.
David Theodore Pregler, 9570.
Sir, I know you just got out of the hospital. Would you be more comfortable sitting down?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, could you slide a chair for him?
But I can't speak that loud because my...
That's all right. I've been able to hear you, so that's good, but also I'm going to allow you to sit down. Okay.
Let me just sit right here, probably better easy. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, did you give me your name and date of birth?
David Theodore Pregler, 9570.
Okay, the state is present virtually?
Yes, Your Honor. Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Okay, sir, it's my understanding, I believe, that you were actually released from the hospital at about 12, if I remember correctly, about 12:21.
Today?
Yeah.
Probably.
Is that correct? I may be off a couple of minutes either way. It's now 12, I saw you starting about 12:50, 12:51. It's a little more than 24 hours. Given the circumstances that you were in the hospital and injured, okay, I find extraordinary circumstances to justify you being seated slightly past the 24 hours. But I had you brought in earlier rather than 2 o'clock. Another factor in my decision is the fact that you had two probation matters, which were, I think there was teletypes alleging violation of probation, putting a hold on you. I think they came in, and I'm going strictly on memory, I believe it was around 10 o'clock tonight, well within the 24-hour period. So you would have been held anyway. And so I think to the fact we're talking about 20 minutes and the fact that your hospitalization, I will find extraordinary circumstances. Okay, so so you have the two probation violations in regard to this, and I did bring this sheet here. One, I believe, is a drug charge you're on probation for. The other one's misconduct involving weapons, which is 2015 002018. The one of the drug probation is 2016 117481. Both of them, you're alleged to have violated term number 1. And the new charge, which is under 2025 144459, you are charged with the following: murder in the second degree, class 1 misdemeanor, and possession of a weapon by a prohibited possessor, class 4 felony. Now, let me just go over one thing with you. The court date's going to be, for the first court dates on both are going to be the same, but they'll be in different buildings. So they'll probably transport you to the new case first. So talk to your lawyer about the other probation violation. That won't be an issue, but the other court issuing a warrant, not knowing you had the other case, just in case. Now, so you initially may have two different lawyers, but ultimately you'll be combined into one court, most most likely, okay? And I will tell you, just in terms of general release conditions, if you are able to get out, you have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. No weapons, no possession or consumption of alcohol, no drugs, okay? But let's just deal with the new case, first of all, the murder two and misconduct involving weapons. Anything the state wishes to be heard on?
Yes, Your Honor, the state did submit.
And Ms. Counsel, please speak a little louder.
Yes, Your Honor, the state did submit a written recommendation.
It's coming out rather garbled.
Let me turn my volume up and see if that helps.
No, it's still being garbled. Hold on. Let me see if my clerk can adjust it. Because you can't understand her either, can you? No, it's very, very garbled. Well, everybody's shaking their heads when I said it's garbled, so.
Can you hear me better now?
Hold on 1 second. Do you want to try, have her call in again?
Yeah.
Yeah, Counsel, why don't you call in, hang up and just call in again. Hopefully it'll be a better connection.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Preg, oh, hold it 1 second. What was that?
I said yes, Your Honor.
Actually, I can hear you now.
Oh,
So let's give it a try.
Then we'll go with it.
No, it's bad again. Call in again. Just hang up and try it again. And if the DO who's here can hear you, she'll be the deciding point besides me, of course. And then, of course, Mr. Pregler, you have to be able to understand her also.
Sorry, she already don't make sense.
Pardon?
She already don't make sense to me.
Okay. Can you move the chair so it's right behind, the thing is right there, the microphone?
Can you see him?
I don't know, but I think I can still see him. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep this table lower so you can keep it there.
Oh, I'm so cold. It's so cold.
Is it better if you rested your arm on the table?
I can't lift it.
Okay.
It needs to be up, but I can't lift it like that.
Oh no, which one you'd be better off, standing or sitting?
No, I need to sit because I've been holding tanks all day now. I haven't had none of my meds, so.
Okay.
Trust me.
I'll give you the option either standing or sitting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm free.
Give me this.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Go ahead. Hello?
I think he's having trouble hearing us now.
It's what?
He was having trouble hearing us.
We could hear her.
I know. She's joining again. You know what's going on. Not joining. I think he's having an internet problem.
Obviously.
Yeah. Hopefully he's able to.
Okay, a couple minutes, I'll start looking at some warrants, bench warrants, search warrants here. She's back on?
Can Your Honor hear me
Okay.
now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. You wish to make a statement?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the state did submit a written recommendation. The state is requesting bond be set in the amount of $1.5 million cash, Your Honor. The suspect was released from prison back in 2024, Your Honor. He was in prison for approximately 10 years on a prior aggravated assault, Your Honor. The state does not have the information on who the prior victim was in that case was. Additionally, Your Honor, while old, he did serve another 10 years prior to that case for aggravated assault. He is on probation for misconduct involving a weapon, Your Honor, as well as one other charge. The state does believe it is a drug charge.
A drug charge.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Given that his criminal history, given the fact that he has a violent criminal history, the fact that we are here today for a new charge, not even just a new charge, but a murder charge, Your Honor, the state does believe that the $1.5 million cash is appropriate. The state outlined its conditions that it's requesting in the written recommendation, which would include electronic monitoring, no contact with the next of kin or any of the victim's family. Additionally, Your Honor, the state did mention that it was a violent offense. The victim's 15-year-old child was the one that reported this crime to law enforcement. He was the one that the state believes called 911. It is unclear, though, Your Honor, if the 15-year-old witnessed the homicide, but for those reasons, that should add to the fact that the state has concerns. The suspect allegedly did not have concerns for the 15-year-old when this was going on. So the state does believe that the $1.5 million cash is appropriate. Thank you. Oh, and Your Honor, in regard, do you want to make a statement on the probation matters now, or shall it wait?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a statement on it, then if you wish to add something, that's fine. Okay. And by the way, reading the Form 4, there was some question it got confusing about whether Trace, the 15-year-old, was present in the room or not, at all times, or whatever the case may be, and its allegations that the alleged victim made to him also. The court had originally considered a pretrial services ankle monitor, but given the fact he was on probation, we generally don't do ankle bracelets if someone's on probation. So based on all the circumstances in regard to it, the court has considered cash bond in the amount of $1 million. In regard to the drug probation, 2016-117481, the court is setting bond in the amount of $250 secured appearance bond. In regard to 2015-002-018, which is he's on probation for misconduct involving weapons, pursuant to rules 27.6 and 7.2C, you will be held without bond. Obviously, if you were able to get out on bond, you would not be able. You would have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You cannot possess any weapons, cannot consume or possess any alcohol, and no drugs without a valid prescription. Does the state wish to say anything else?
No, Your Honor. The state was just going to ask for the suspect to be held non-bondable on if probation matters, but Your Honor has already done that, so no further statement from the state. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we are in recess. All right, thank you. Officer, thanks very much for bringing him in early. Okay, as I said, it was the variety of circumstances that justified in the court's mind the finding of extraordinary circumstances. All right, we are in recess.